biggest problem, I had two. One was for the second part to figure out how to actually do it, and the second to get the math right.
Okay. Okay, let's welcome to the solution of day 21. Achim got a second star and he explained us his solution. Achim, it's your stage.
Okay, I will shortly go through part one. That's quite easy. So I pass all these monkeys. So they have a name. They might have a definitive value. Otherwise, they have a left and right child and an operation. And we can go recursively through them. If they already have a definitive value, we can then return it. If they don't, we get both children. I stored them in a hash map to look them up real fast. And going through the operations, we can then add them together. So this is a recursive call, and in the end, we would get the result for part one.
Yes, easy. Just a DFS algorithm, right, Frank?
Yeah, it's simply traverse the tree, EFS in this case, depth first, and then you got traversed all nodes and have the values for all nodes and output the one for the root.
Okay.
For the second part, it got a little bit trickier. So first thing I do is I get through all nodes and try to calculate their value. If they already have a value, yeah, fine. If they are the human node or the root node, I just skip them because I can't calculate anything on them. Doesn't make any sense. And if the left or right-hand child is considered unprocessable because it somewhat depends on the human node, I add it into the unprocessable list and don't bother for the moment. For all other nodes, I get through there, calculate their resulting value. So I'm reducing the problem to hopefully one pass in the tree. And when I have that, I'm at the debug output here and here in the console. And I got lucky because both times it's a left path that I don't have a value for. So I can take the value from the right path and traverse through the left one. And in order to not screw it up, I set the value of the human node to null because I placed not the long primitive, but the long class as a type.
Show us the part where you change the values. So.
Yes, we have to find the value for the human.
So here the target value, you somehow change the target value. So
exactly, the target value will become the result eventually after traversing through the branches. So I am at a node. I take the left and the right hand child, and then I check for the left and the right hand child individually. Yeah. And you have to get the operations right. It's easy to invert plus and multiply, but it's it's a bit different for minus and divide.
Yeah, it's basically always the opposite operation. So if you got
but I have thrown in here some notes I made. If you try to invert the division, the division or the subtraction, it depends on in which direction you want to revert it. So if you want to get A, you just add B and C. That's here.
Okay.
For example, but if you want to get B, you have to take A, subtract C from it.
Yeah, you got such an addition like A to plus B has an expected outcome. And now the real outcome is another value, so you have to change A by the difference or B by the difference. And since you can only change one of them, you change this. So here you phrased it as a target value. So still it's only 3 values and the equations you wrote down. So for each operation, there's an opposite operation which gives the right value. So this looks fairly nice. It looks nice from the code. So I guess this is why you have it.
But it depends on which branch you are traversing. So
yeah, the problem is symmetrical. It does not matter if you go to the left or the right. One of them is the branch where the human is, and the other one is where the fixed value is. So where the human is in this branch, you change the value. If you call it A or B, you can simply change the names, and then it's the same. So.
Very nice solution. Achim, what was the biggest problem in this riddle for you?
The biggest problem, I had 2. One was for the second part to figure out how to actually do it, and the second to get the math right.
Okay, thank you. Some other comments, maybe from you, Frank?
Yeah, I got the right idea. I actually tried to implement more or less the same switches over the operation and the same opposite operation. But as Achim said, I also have problems getting the math right here.
Okay, then both guys, thank you. It's 7 o'clock. Can you show your statics on the leaderboard? I'm very interesting.
My personal stats.
Okay.
For part 1, it's 1,500 something, and for part 2, it's 1,600 something.
Yeah, very good. In under 1 hour. Nice. Then, guys, we see us tomorrow, next time. Much luck for you, Frank. And
Thank you.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.